In this must-watch video, Ibrahim Traoré drops a bombshell revelation about the next country set to join the Sahel Confederation. The unexpected announcement will leave you on the edge of your seat as he unveils the newest member of this influential regional alliance. Stay tuned to find out who will be the latest addition to the Sahel Confederation in this must-watch video. However, President Ibrahim Traoré made this startling revelation through his prime minister in a recent meeting with his peers in Niger. Please first listen to the prime minister speak, and after we conclude the video with our analysis. Make sure to watch the video till the end. Also be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates on this developing story.
As President Nyeusi said this morning, we must see the hand of God in what is happening to us. God knows how to use the bad for a good cause. So, for a long time, we have been striving for African unity, haven't we? So, the Prime Minister is a witness. People told me that my 3 or 4 poor countries, how can they come together? So why not go to Ghana, to the Ivory Coast? He said no. Those who can come together and stay together are usually around the same economic level, who have the same culture, the same clothing and eating habits. So that's what can form the foundation. Worthy, there was a state. And when you look at Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, it's the same culture, the same eating habits, the same level of development. There is no state that can claim to be imperialistic over another and vice versa. In a system that is equal and according to our interests, we will discuss. That's why I always felt those countries should be together. For a long time, we waited for Niger, and finally Niger arrived. During FESPACO, I received the Chadian Minister of Culture, and I told him, we Malaysians are moving towards unity, and we're waiting for you too. So it was in Burkina Faso. I received a whole bunch of about stealing, saying that the Chadians are pro-French. Why am I addressing them? Etc. They say no. I am not addressing the Chadian government. I am addressing the Chadian people going to the militia. Speaking to the Chadian minister, he is not the one I speak. Chadians need to take responsibility. We are waiting for them now. So, what do I want to tell you now? It was in our home, in Burkina Faso. We are currently reflecting on the new constitution. Our first constitution, the one from 1959, the first president came with that, like a bet in his pocket. The constitution that prevailed under Blaise Compaoré was finalized by Edmond Jouvet, a French professor. And they bring it to us as our constitution in Burkina Faso. How do you want? So now, thinking about writing a constitution completely detached from the French model that was imported to us. We are going to start major debates. Ask the people at the grassroots, how do you want to be governed? Do you want a king, a president? A rotating presidency, what do you want? It will be up to the people to tell us how they want to be governed. But we no longer want to imitate French constitutions, which are almost the same throughout Francophone Africa. Like I had the idea. Democracy was born in Athens, Greece. And every current Western country has more examples of this to adapt it to its context. Why don't they want us to adapt democracy to our context too? If our people say we want to be governed by a soldier, why would we refuse it? Is it the ECOWAS that comes to feed us? Is it ECOWAS that pays our soldiers? And why does she need to keep an eye on how we should govern ourselves? As I have previously mentioned, since 2012, we have been facing terrorism. What has been the contribution of ECOWAS in each of our countries? Why does she now want to come and tell us how we should behave? It's a matter of simple logic. So we shouldn't let ourselves get distracted anymore. We no longer let ourselves be distracted. It's up to us to take our destiny into our own hands. And what ECOWAS and its masters say does not concern us. We already have it, those of us who are here. We have already gone through part of our journey. We are no longer fighting for ourselves. We are fighting for posterity. And as I recall this morning, when General Chani came to power, we didn't know him. No, he didn't know where he was supposed to go, where he could go. But he said something that stuck with me. I can't repeat word for word. He said that he's already quite old. My life no longer interests me. I am fighting now. I'm fighting for my country now. I thought, here's a real man. And that's the same determination I saw in him this morning when he met us. What I wanted to tell you, let's not lose sight of something. I had to say that there is the hand of God in what is happening. This is to remind you that shortly we will be going back to God. Each of us will die. Let's ensure that when we do it right. We have pride. It's time to watch the movie. What's the point for a head of state to accumulate billions? We saw them here, the Mogotis, etc. Where did they go? Better to live an ideal, a spirituality, a sense of life to posterity. Our president, Thomas Sankara, was brutally assassinated.
He didn't smooth anything. He didn't smooth anything.
But today, his name is known all around the world. That should be the ideal elder for us. And so, if we have this ideal, I am sure we can go very far. Previously, our federations also failed. It's due to national selfishness. Let's put an end to this selfishness. It doesn't lead us
nowhere.
That's what built America. In America, settlers came from everywhere. Germans, the English, Italians. But they told themselves we all share the same fate and comforted the country. So from now on, let's say if you're from Mali, Niger, or Burkina, we share the same destiny. Let's go together.
In this speech, Ibrahim Traoré provides a compelling insight into the evolving political landscape of the Sahel region and the vision for a new Pan-African alliance. As the leader of Burkina Faso, and a key figure in the Sahel Confederation, Ibrahim Traore's words carry significant weight in shaping the future of West African politics and regional cooperation. President Ibrahim Traore emphasizes the importance of African unity, particularly among countries with shared cultural and economic backgrounds. He argues that Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso are natural allies due to their similar cultures, eating habits, and levels of development. This perspective challenges the notion that regional alliances should be based solely on economic power, instead prioritizing cultural and historical ties. More so, he argues that when countries that are at par with their development forms a union, there will be no tendency for one to lord it over the others. A significant portion of Traore's speech focuses on rejecting Western, particularly French, influence in African governance. He criticizes the historical imposition of French-style constitutions across Francophone Africa and calls for a new approach to governance that is rooted in African values and traditions. This stance reflects a growing trend of anti-colonial sentiment and a desire for true independence in policymaking among some African leaders. Again, he emphasizes that Western democracy is not the panacea for all nations unless it is adopted to local situation. In line with that, Ibrahim Traore outlines plan for a radical overhaul of Burkina Faso's constitution. He proposes a grassroots approach to constitutional development, suggesting that the people should decide how they want to be governed. This could include options such as a monarchy, a rotating presidency, or other forms of leadership that deviate from the Western democratic model. This approach represents a significant shift in how African nations approach governance and could potentially reshape the political landscape of the region. On ECOWAS, the speech contains sharp criticism of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. Traore questions the organization's legitimacy in dictating how Sahelian countries should be governed, pointing out ECOWAS's lack of contribution to addressing the region's security challenges. This stance reflects growing tensions between the Sahel Confederation and ECOWAS, potentially reshaping regional dynamics. Captain Ibrahim Traore touches on the ongoing security challenges in the Sahel, particularly the fight against terrorism since 2012. He uses this point to further criticize ECOWAS and Western powers for their perceived lack of support, reinforcing the need for regional self-reliance in addressing security issues. Listening to this one would come to a firm conclusion that the divorce between the Sahel Confederation and ECOWAS is over and done with. But I would like to hear your opinion in the comment. The speech emphasizes the importance of economic independence and development. Traore argues that countries at similar economic levels are better positioned to form successful unions, as no state can claim economic imperialism over the others. This perspective challenges traditional models of regional integration that often include economically disparate nations. Do you think that he is right? While using the United Nations as an example, one would agree with him totally. Why do I say so? It's because any of the permanent members of the United Nations Security Council, also known as the Permanent Five, Big Five, or P5, France, Russia, United Kingdom, and United States, could single-handedly veto a decision made by more than 95 other countries of the UN, and that decision will be dead. That will not happen in the Sahel Confederation. Interestingly, Traore infuses his speech with spiritual and moral elements. He speaks of the hand of God in recent developments and emphasizes the importance of leaders leaving behind a positive legacy and spiritual values rather than material wealth. This approach may resonate with many in the deeply religious Sahelian societies. While not explicitly stating when a new country might join next, Ibrahim Traore hints at the potential expansion of the Sahel Confederation. He mentions discussions with Chad, suggesting that the alliance may be looking to grow beyond its current 3 members. This expansion could significantly alter the balance of power in West Africa. However, the mention of Chad will come as a surprise to many that have expected Senegal or Guinea to be the next likely candidate. It is even more intriguing when you consider that Chad is not a member of ECOWAS. However, Chad, another landlocked country, is a bona fide member of the Sahel region and shares much in common with Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger culturally. They are all governed by military leaders until the recent election in Chad, when General Mahamat Itno ditched his military uniform and contested and won in a recent democratic election. Chad is also aligning with Russia, prompting France to launch an embezzlement probe against their president. Check out in the description our recent video on that investigation. It is worth your time, as you will learn much of what is at play. Traoré invokes the memory of Thomas Sankara, Burkina Faso's revered former leader, to underscore the importance of ideals and legacy over material gain. This reference places the current movement within the broader context of Pan-Africanism and revolutionary leadership in Africa. Finally, the speech concludes with a call to end national selfishness, which Traoré sees as a barrier to successful regional integration. He draws parallels with the formation of the United States, suggesting that a similar unity of purpose could drive the success of the Sahel Confederation. Do you think that Chad is an ideal candidate to join the Sahel Confederation? Head to the comments, and let's hear your opinion. As always, I appreciate you tuning in and letting me break down these complex geopolitical topics. Let me know what you think about the issues down in the comments below. Looking forward to that discussion. Please like this video, share it, subscribe to our channel, and we will see you in our next video.